Good morning, students. So in today's class we are going to learn about enzyme catalysis. So we already know what do you mean by catalyst. What do you mean by catalyst, children? Catalyst is nothing but which increase the rate of chemical reaction without undergoing any chemical change. In the same way, enzymes are also a catalyst. What type of catalyst they are? Enzymes are biological catalysts produced by living organisms like plants and animals to catalyze biochemical reactions. So enzymes are biochemical or biological catalysts produced by living organisms to catalyze biochemical reactions. So where they are present? They are present in plant and animal cells. So chemically, enzymes are proteins which are made up of one or more amino acids, and they form, when a group of amino acids combine, they form polypeptide chains. Yes, so they are complex nitrogenous organic compounds. They are complex nitrogenous organic compounds. They are termed as biochemical catalysts. So we already discussed why they are known as biochemical catalysts. Okay, so they are termed as biochemical catalysts, and the phenomena of catalysis is known as biochemical catalysis. So enzymes are higher molecular mass protein molecules, and they can form colloidal solutions when dissolved in water. They form colloidal solutions in water. So some examples we are going to see, children. So inversion of cane sugar in the presence of an enzyme called invertase. Okay, what it will be formed? So what is the formula of cane sugar, children? So C12H22O11, which is in aqueous state, combines with water in the presence of invertase. Invertase is an enzyme, gives glucose C6H12O6 plus C6H12O6, glucose and fructose. So one example of enzyme catalyzed reaction is inversion of cane sugar. Okay, in the presence of an enzyme invertase, cane sugar get converted into glucose and fructose, another types of sugars. Next one is conversion of glucose into ethyl alcohol. So conversion of glucose into ethyl alcohol in the presence of an enzyme called zymase. So here we have taken glucose, and in the presence of zymase is an enzyme which can convert glucose or a sugar molecule into alcohol, that is ethyl alcohol, and also releases carbon dioxide gas. Next one is conversion of starch into maltose in the presence of diastase. So look at here, children. So conversion of starch into maltose in the presence of diastase. The starch formula C6H10O5. Okay, 2 molecules of C6H10O5. N means number of. Plus combines with N molecules of water in the presence of diastase, it gives maltose. Yes. Next one is conversion of maltose into glucose. So we have already seen the maltose formula. That one only we are going to write it again. So conversion of maltose into glucose in the presence of maltase. Conversion of maltose in the presence of an enzyme maltase. Okay, in the presence of an enzyme maltase, it gives glucose. So C12H22O11 plus H2O gives rise C6H12O6. Understand, children? Next one is decomposition of urea into ammonia and carbon dioxide in the presence of urease. Urease is an enzyme which can decompose urea. So look at here, children. The formula of urea is NH2CONH2, which is in aqueous state, combines with water. In the presence of urease, it can gives ammonia and carbon dioxide. So these are the some examples for enzyme catalyzed reaction. And not only this, in our stomach, the proteins will get converted into peptides in the presence of an enzyme called pepsin, and in intestine, proteins get converted into amino acids in the presence of pancreatic trypsin. And not only that, milk can also be get converted into curd in the presence of lactobacilli enzymes. Understand? So these are the some examples we have seen so far. Next we are going to see characteristics of enzyme catalysis. So we are going to see characteristics of enzyme catalysis. So here some points are there. They are most highly specific and highly efficient. So what do you mean by highly specific, children? So they do not react with whatever substances are available to them. They are mostly particular about the specific substance to join, and they undergo a chemical reaction, and they are highly efficient. What do you mean by highly efficient? Highly efficient is nothing but, for example, if one molecule of catalase break down millions of molecules of hydrogen peroxide. They are highly efficient means one molecule of catalase can break down millions of molecules of hydrogen peroxide. So what is hydrogen peroxide? H2O2. Okay, hydrogen peroxide is a byproduct of many normal metabolic processes which are taken in our body, which undergo some chemical reactions. This H2O2 is produced as a byproduct in our body. So it is a H2O2 is a powerful oxidizing agent, and it is potentially damaging to cells, which must be quickly converted into less dangerous substance. Means when H2O2 is produced in our body, they are highly dangerous. They are powerful oxidizing agent. Okay, they can have a tendency to damaging the cells. They have tendency to damage the cells. So what we have to do? This catalase or this enzymes, they will convert this H2O2 into less dangerous substance. That is why they are highly efficient. Okay, they are highly specific and highly efficient. Next one, highly active under optimum temperature. Okay, enzymes are too active at optimum temperature of 298 to 310 Kelvin. 298 to 310 Kelvin. Understand? And they are highly active under optimum pH value. pH value means how much? They are 5 to 7. Okay, they are highly active at 5 to 7 pH value. And next one, increasing the activity in the presence of activators and coenzymes. So the activity of an enzyme can be increased in the presence of activators and coenzymes. Coenzymes are nothing but vitamins. Okay, coenzymes are nothing but vitamins. So here activators are nothing but like sodium plus, magnesium 2 plus, CO2 plus, Cu2 plus, etc. When weakly bonded to enzyme molecule, increase their catalytic activity. Understand, children? Next, amylase in the presence of sodium chloride, that is Na plus ions, are catalytically very active. Yes. So when weakly bonded to enzyme molecules, increases their catalytic activity. So activators here, whatever activators we are taking, they are nothing but ions like sodium plus, magnesium 2 plus, CO2 plus, Cu2 plus, yes, etc. Next one is influence of inhibitors and poisons. We already discussed what do you mean by inhibitors or poisons. What do you mean by inhibitors and poisons, children? So inhibitors which can stop the or which can inhibit the reaction, and poisons which cannot allow the reaction to take further, isn't it? So here enzyme activity is inhibited by other substances. The inhibitors or poisons interact with the active functional groups on the enzyme surface. So whatever main functional group is present on the enzyme surface, they will reduce their activity or completely destroy the catalytic activity of the enzymes. So these are the some characteristics of enzyme catalysis. They are most highly specific and highly efficient. Same only I have written here. Next one, highly active under optimum temperature. What temperature, children? 298 to 310 Kelvin. And they are highly active under optimum pH value, that is 5 to 7. Increase the activity in the presence of activators and coenzymes like vitamins. Activators are nothing but ions like sodium, magnesium, cobalt or copper, etc. we can take, and they are influenced by inhibitors and poisons also. Already we have discussed what you mean by inhibitors and poisons. If they are present, they mostly influence, that means the reaction will be slowed down, okay, or completely the reaction will be destroyed. Next comes to mechanism of enzyme catalysis. So how this enzyme catalysis mechanism takes place? So look at here. An enzyme attracts the substrate to its active site catalyzes the chemical reaction by which the products are formed and then allows the products to dissociate, that means separates from their enzyme surface. So listen children, an enzyme attracts the substrate. So enzyme here will be an catalyst and the substrate here it will be an reactant. So here reactant and the catalyst will be get combined, okay, to its active site, catalyzes the chemical reaction by which the products are formed. So when both are combined, a product will be formed. After the formation of the product, okay, they both will be again dissociates. Okay. They both will be again dissociate. That means they both will be again separated. So the combination formed by an enzyme and its substrate is called the enzyme substrate complex. Enzyme substrate complex. So complex means when the enzyme and the substrate combine together, that form is called as enzyme substrate complex. So here the enzyme catalyzed reaction involves mainly two steps. So what we have seen here, first they will be joined, isn't it? So that one is binding of substrate S to the enzyme E to form an activated complex ES. E means enzyme, S means substrate. That only we have seen. An enzyme attracts substrate. So first step is enzyme is combining with the substrate to form enzyme substrate complex. And next one what? Decomposition of the activated complex to form the product. So whatever enzyme substrate complex are formed, again after the formation of the product they get decomposed. So here by seeing the diagram you can understand better. See, this is how it will be look like. So here substrate is nothing but the reactant and this one is an enzyme here is a catalyst. Both will be combined, okay. The surface of this substrate and the surface of the enzyme should be matched like this, like lock and key model. Next one here both were get attached, so to form enzyme substrate complex. So when they formed enzyme substrate complex, some chemical reaction it takes place, it undergoes some chemical reaction. After the chemical reaction we will get the products and enzyme will be again separated. So this enzyme will be available for another reaction. Understand children? So now this enzyme can be available for another reaction. So as it looks like a lock and key, they are also, this model is also known as a lock and key model. Yes children? So this is how the mechanism of enzyme catalysis takes place. Simple, first enzyme combines with the substrate to form enzyme substrate complex. In the next step, this enzyme substrate complex will be decomposed to give the product. And enzyme will be free and it will be available for more chemical reaction to take place. Next comes to autocatalysis. What do you mean by autocatalysis? Own. Auto means own. Okay, own catalysis. So here in some reactions, one of the product formed act as a catalyst and catalyzes the reaction further. Such phenomenon is known as or is called as autocatalysis and the catalyst is called as autocatalyst. Understand children? So here for example this only you take. Autocatalysis means here in some chemical reactions one of the product, whatever products are formed, okay, it will act as a catalyst and it catalyzes the next chemical reaction. So whatever chemical reactions are going to take place, one of the product will act as a catalyst and it moves or it carries the next chemical reaction. So such phenomena is called as autocatalysis and the catalyst is called as autocatalyst. So here example we have seen hydrolysis of methyl acetate is catalyzed by H plus ion furnished by acetic acid. So here we have taken CH3COO CH3 combines with H2O to give acetic acid CH3COOH and CH3OH. So here in CH3COOH H plus ion whatever it is formed, so this can carry next further reaction as an autocatalyst. So this is called autocatalysis. So auto means own. In some chemical reaction whatever product is formed, that product will be act as a catalyst for the next further reaction. Understand? So that process is called autocatalysis. Next comes to industrial catalyst. So catalysts are widely used in industries. So catalysts are very much important to produce large amount of products chemically on a large scale. So for here we have taken some examples. So look at here children, in Haber's process for the manufacture of ammonia, N2 plus 3H2 gives us 2NH3. So here what catalyst we have taken? We have taken iron as a catalyst and MO, molybdenum, as a promoter, which increases the rate of reaction at pressure 200 bar and a temperature 273 to 773 Kelvin. And in next industrial use is Ostwald's process. So Ostwald process for the manufacture of nitric acid. Okay, so here NH3 ammonia gas combines with O2 oxygen to form 4NO plus 6H2O, and again this NO, nitric oxide again is combined with oxygen to form nitrogen dioxide. This nitrogen dioxide again combines with water to water and oxygen to give nitric acid. So here what is the catalyst children? Here the catalyst is platinized asbestos, okay, and at temperature is 573 Kelvin. And next one is contact process for the manufacture of sulfuric acid. So in the production of sulfuric acid, so how the process? First sulfur dioxide combines with oxygen to give sulfur trioxide. Sulfur trioxide again reacts with aqueous H2SO4 to give H2S2O7, that is oleum, and H2S2O7 again combines with water to give 2 molecules of H2SO4, which is in aqueous state. So here the catalyst what we are using is platinized asbestos or vanadium pentoxide at a temperature 673 to 723 Kelvin. Yes, so these are the some industrial catalysts are here and the reactions are here, the process. So today we have seen enzyme catalysis, characteristics of enzyme catalysis, mechanism of enzyme catalysis, and what do you mean by autocatalysis and industrial catalysis. So in next class we are going to learn about colloids. Thank you children.